below that I'm going to do a quick how to play video of Cthulhu Death May Die by Guillotine Games and CMON. So first of all we'll talk about how to set up. So this is the game board or storyboard as it's called, and that's the first thing we're going to need. So this is a summoning token. I like to put that at the beginning. You don't have to do this, but the elder god that you choose would actually go in that space, but I like to put it underneath it, so when the elder god comes in, it's already there. So the next thing you have to do is actually choose a elder one, and just for this video I've chosen Cthulhu. So the way you do that is you then get the models out, and the Cthulhu will go into that summoning space there. Then also get his cards, and stage 1 has to go to the top. And as you end up fighting Cthulhu, the more stages you go through, the abilities actually stack. The one at the top is what's currently present, which reads, when Cthulhu advances, put a Riley token on your space. If there's already a token there, put it on the nearest space that doesn't have one. Summon a cultist on each Riley space, then move the star spawn space one space towards you. If it is not on the board, summon it on the blue gate. So you always work from the top down, and that's the order it will go in. So next is the minions of Cthulhu card, and as you heard just now, they mentioned the star spawn, which is on there, and it also has a cultists. So I don't normally do this, but I like to put the model on top of the space there, and sometimes I'll put the old cultist there as well, just to help remind me. On the cards it does actually say how many dice you roll. So the black ones are standard dice and the green ones are the bonus dice, but you'd only roll that many dice that's on the card. So that is that set up. Next you would choose a campaign or a story as it's called. I've chosen Blasphemous Alchemy, which is season 1 episode 1, and in that you would have, or you have, the creatures or the monsters involved. So that says a Bayaki and a fire vampire. So just put fire vampire and a Bayaki on top as well. And it also has the actual story part of it, but which has special rules. On the back of it has the map, which is the next stage. So move that to one side, and all you literally do is copy what the map shows you. It is all got letters and numbers, so you just find what matches up with what, and it does matter the way stairs and that go down. So, 10A there. This does use up quite a bit of space if you can't tell. Sometimes it's a little bit fiddly just trying to work out which way round the tiles actually go, because it's got doorways on it which has arrows, and you can only go through a doorway if the arrows match up on either side of the tiles. So it should then, this one comes with lab tokens, so I'll just give it a bit of a shuffle without looking at them. Can be a bit fiddly, but, and then you just look at the drawing as to where each of the tokens go. So as you can see, it's very straightforward. You also have gates. So if you heard earlier, it said about summoning to the blue gate. That's what the blue gate looks like. So you put them down. These actually start with fire. So you put fire tokens down in the relevant spaces. And there's upstairs. And you've got the stairs have to match up, so when you move, that's where you move to. And last but not least is the monsters. So there's 5 vampires there, and there's a Bayaki there. There's also a cultist, 2 cultists, right, so that all matches up now. So before I read the rest of the description on that, the next thing you do is you get you've got discovery cards. So if there's no monster in your space, you can draw a discovery card, and it gives you an item, it gives you a companion, whatever you draw. The other thing that you get is you get the mythos cards that was in there, and you also get the mythos cards out that came with the elder one. Put them together and you give that a quick shuffle. And you just put that to one side. You also make sure you've got all the tokens ready and that everything's within easy reach. The next thing you do is you get your characters. I'm going to be using Vincent. If you play a single player game, you would play with 2 characters, but I'm just showing you how to set up. But each player would have 1 character each unless you're playing single. And the idea is you just put these tokens in the relevant space. So they go on the first level of each of your skills. So each character has, oops, sorry, that's a bit bright. Each character has skills written down, and as you advance the character, you can choose to move this along. So you've got health at the bottom, you've got stress, and you've got sanity. Once you get to the end of sanity, you go mad, there's no recovering from it. But each time you get to one of these spirals on here, it triggers your insanity. Stress is used to re-roll, and you can also, and health is your health. When you get to 0, you're dead. The idea is you obviously stop the ritual going on. If the conditions aren't met and the Elder One gets all the way to there, as soon as it goes on to the red bit, he will come in onto the board. Wherever it tells you, he will come into the board. If you have not disrupted the ritual, you can't do any damage to him until the ritual is disrupted. So, how do you disrupt the ritual? Well, back to this story card. Actually, sorry. We'll do the insanities first. So the idea is you get the insanity deck, pick a card. This is the only time you need to pick the card once at the beginning for each character. So he's got obsessive disorder. You move your stress to match your health value, then discard discovery cards as needed until you have the same number of cards on each side of your investigator board. So that's can be quite a good one if you've got full health and you've got no stress, because you can regain your stress that way. Not very good if you've got a lot of items. You've got to make sure you do balance it out properly. But so that only triggers when you work your way up the sanity board. So as I was about to say, is we'll go on to the story bit. So to disrupt the ritual, you've got to destroy 4 of the 5 labs, and do that by dealing 4 or more total wounds to them with the destroy equipment action. But when the Elder One advances, you place 1 fire token in each space that has a cultist and no fire. So it gives you what happens, how you disrupt the ritual, and what happens when the Elder One advances as well. As well as the Elder One actually tells you on there what it does as well. So there's quite a lot going on when he advances. So, and each story comes with 2 unique actions. One is extinguish fire. Make a roll, remove 1 fire token in your space for each success. And destroy equipment. Make a roll against the lab in your space. This doesn't count as an attack. Each success deals 1 wound to the lab. When the lab has 4 or more wounds, destroy it and turn it over to reveal its effect. So I've destroyed this lab, roll it over. Inferno, place a fire token in each space and each adjacent space. So you then move that effect. This one also gives you a little story behind it as well. So, what's worse than cultists? Cultists who set the place on fire. Another night and another damn ritual to be summoned. Another damn ritual to summon an elder god. If we blew up their labs, we can cause a lot of trouble for whatever they are summoning. So So that is set up pretty much already. You've got to choose who goes first, and that's the starting space token, and you put your characters on that. Oh, there should be 2 on there, but you first of all, so you get to take 3 actions. First action is run, where you can move up to 3 spaces. However, if you run through a space with an enemy in it, so say he runs from there to there, they will follow him. There are special skills to avoid this, but that's generally what happens. You don't have to move 3 spaces, you can just move 1. Also, if you move through a fire, you pick up fire token and you put it on there, and then you would roll a standard dice for each fire token on your character at the end of your turn. You can attack 1 enemy in your space. Doesn't matter how many successes you get, you can only deal damage to 1 enemy. Unless you've got skills like Brawler, which allows you to distribute the damage. Pretty sure it's Brawler that distributes the damage. No, it's not. So I've got that wrong. Second level of Brawler lets you distribute the damage. First level, you gain extra dice when you roll for someone in your space. The next action is you can rest. So if there's no enemies in your space, you can rest, in which case you can recover up to 3 health and or stress. So you can recover 1 stress and 2 health, or 1 health and 2 stress, or 3 stress, however you want to distribute it. You can trade with other people in your space, or you can take one of the episode actions that I've read. So that's your turn, and you get to choose 3 of them. After that, you then draw one of these Mythos cards. There should be 16 cards here. I couldn't remember if I shuffled them or not, but so I'm shuffling them again. So they would have 8 of your Elder One cards and 8 of the story cards. So you draw one of them. Chaos in the Labs. Move the Elder One and each monster 1 space towards an undestroyed lab closest to each of them. So choose 1 monster closest to the undestroyed. Summon a cultist in each damaged lab. No. Then remove 1 wound from each lab in a space with a cultist. It also has that symbol on top. Some of them do, some of them don't. And that is for your end of turn actions. If you have 3 of them, the Elder One advances. If you're in a safe space and you've not got any enemies in your space, you then get to draw a discovery card. So this one, you may claim a fire extinguisher, and the fire extinguishers, you gain 2 bonus dice to extinguish a fire, or the fire axe. When attacking, you gain 1 bonus dice if you have the brawling skill. Doesn't cost you anything to take any of them ones, but you've got to choose which side. So if I wanted the fire axe, it'd be that side. if I wanted the fire extinguisher, it'd be that side. Some of them do require you to, so like this one, if you have a guilty conscience, you take 1 stress, but you can take 2 stress to claim either the grad student or the beaker. Well, you can take 1 stress to claim a beaker. You may take a wound to claim either the furious student or whatever else there was, bleach. So it can, in a sense, cost you either stress or health. Next is resolve end of turn. So with that is you have a look to see if you got 3 of them, then you would, for argument's sake, so I've got 3 with the symbol on. I'll then pick up all my discarded cards that has been drawn, whether there's some with them in or not, put them back in and reshuffle. Right, and the elder one would actually advance 1 space. So next we'll go on, we'll talk about dice rolls and the dice. So you start off with 3 normal dice. It has a blank space, an exclamation mark, which means success, an elder sign, which doesn't mean anything unless you've got a ability that lets you use it. You've got a terror, that increases your insanity. For each terror you get, doesn't matter if it's an attack, whether it's a defense roll, whether it's an action roll of any type, a terror will increase your insanity, which you don't really want, but at the same time it's the only way of leveling up your skills. So you've got to try and find a good balance. You can re-roll the dice based on taking the stress. The other one on the side is a success and a terror, which means you succeed, but you will take the negative side of having a terror as well. So the other one is bonus dice, which has 2 blank sides, a success, an elder sign, another success, and a success with an elder sign. Some of them do actually have special actions that they can take if they have a elder sign or whether they have a terror. Some of the monsters have extra things to happen as well if you roll any of them. So going back to, I missed part of the investigate or fight stage, which is if the space is actually unsafe, then the monster or whatever it is will attack you. So for instance here I've got 2 cultists in this space. I'd then look at this card and each cultist would roll 2 dice. And you'd roll to see how much damage it would take. You can use your stress to re-roll these dice as well on your turn. They only attack the person whose turn it is. So if I had the other person was over here in the room with this Bayaki, and it's Vincent's turn here, the Bayaki won't attack that one. These cultists will only attack him. And likewise on Fleur, I think her name is, on her turn, the Bayaki will attack her, but the cultists won't attack him. So if they were both in the same spot, they would attack whoever turn it is. And I think that is the very basics. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you all again soon.